Hi, this is Amir Ayar here in studio with you with another Bitwig Studio 2 lesson. And today is all about layered clip editing, so let's get into it. I hope you're familiar with the concepts of audio clips and audio events. But just in case you're not, every audio file we import into Bitwig is in fact an audio event, which is put inside an audio clip automatically. In other words, an audio event is the actual material we work with, and the audio clip is the box or container which can hold one or more audio events inside of itself. For example, we have a couple of audio loops already saved to our library. If you don't know how to do that, no worries. I'm gonna show you at the end of this video when we're done with our newly created beat and ready to save it. So, two loops. One of them is a top loop and the other is a kick and a snare, which I really like. Let's import them and have a listen. Nice, right? The only problem is I'm going for more of a 4 on the floor feel, and as you can clearly hear, drum pattern for kick and snare is definitely half time. So what I can do, also known as layered clip editing, is that I can, let's solo this, yeah. I can select both clips by clicking on the second one while holding Command or Control for Windows users, and then go to this icon in the lower left which looks like a stack of papers. Now we can see both clips containing audio events we just imported on top of each other. And remember, if we need a more screen real estate, we can always use the keyboard shortcut Shift and Tab to move the clip editing area to the top section. I really like the sound of the kick drum, but the thing is, as I said before, it's half time. So what I can do is to grab my knife tool from the drop down menu or by pressing number 5 and cut right here after the kick drum. Or if I wanted to, I could stick with my pointer tool, click right after the kick drum, 3/16 notes later, and press Command E or of course Control E for Windows users. Whichever method I choose, I'll end up with a new audio event, my kick drum, which is cut out of another audio event, which is the kick and snare loop. Now I'm going to shorten my kick drum event to a 16th note and then add a fade in the end while holding Shift to disable the snap function. Otherwise, it would snap to the grid. Now it's time to bring it to the first beat of the upper audio event in the other clip. And here we go. We just cut the kick from a loop, edited it, and mixed it into another loop. Now, let's copy that kick to the beginning of every beat in order to make it 4 on the floor. And we move this one 16th note to the right to add a little groove and variation. Now let's make something interesting with the snare sound. As I did before, I isolate the snare and then while holding Option, I move it to the left out of the loop bracket in order to make a copy. This allows me to keep working on the snare sound I sampled out without worrying about changing the loop itself. This time, instead of shortening the loop, I compress the audio content by going a little down until my mouse pointer turns into this icon. Then I can reverse it by making sure the event is selected, going up here in the event menu and choosing reverse, which can also be pinned to show automatically in the contextual area up here whenever you have an event selected. As you can see, it's reversed, and what's left is to find a good place in the top loop for pasting it. Again, I hold Option and drag it right before the second bar. Let's have a listen to what we've accomplished so far. Sounds great, but let's do a couple of other things, because That's how Bitwig is. It's so powerful that always encourages you to do more and more and more. Okay, so I hear a tom right here, but I don't really like where it's placed. Let's move it a 16th note to the left. We can also change its pitch a couple of semitones higher. And probably double it right here. Let's have a listen. And the last thing I want to do before saving our loop into the library and playing it with the bass loop I prepared is to mute all the kicks from the kick and snare loop except for the last one. We do this by cutting them up, selecting them, and then either pressing Option A or going to Inspector panel and clicking on this button labeled M. Now we can go to Arrange panel by pressing Tab key twice, right click on the top loop clip, which now is not a top loop anymore, go to the bottom of the list and select Save to Library. Then we choose the tempo of the loop, name it, add tags, and it's added to our library for later use. And by doing that, we approach the end of this video tutorial. We learned all about layered clip editing, practiced together a use case, and also took a quick look at audio clips and audio events in the process. Let's import the bass loop I talked about before from our library and play all the clips together at the same time. Enjoy!